Greetings and welcome to the Dr. J Vlog series. It's Sunday, June 29th, 2025, and on Sundays we talk about the purpose and meaning of life. We've reached something of a minor milestone today. We're at week number 26 of the Dr. J Vlog series, meaning we're crossing the halfway threshold since its inception on January 1st towards doing a full year of vlogs on a daily basis. So I started posting daily on January 4th, and so this is now my 176th consecutive daily post. And if you've been here from the start, thanks so much. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. Before we continue, if you'd like to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert buttons before you go. All right, now since the start of June, I've actually honed in on a slightly new format. We're still dealing with 7 different subjects on each of the 7 different days of the week. So Sundays, we look at the purpose and meaning of life, as I mentioned. Mondays, we talk about mathematics and statistics. Tuesdays are devoted to music and the arts. Wednesdays, we consider your emotional well-being and relationships. On Thursdays, we focus on knowledge and science. Fridays are reserved for human behavior and justifications. And Saturdays, we have some fun with sports and humor. The new wrinkle is that we're looking at an overarching theme each week. So each vlog looks at the same issue, but from the perspective of that specific day's focus. So this week's theme is improving the world. And as you know, there are all kinds of YouTube channels out there and Instagram accounts and news programs and you name it that sort of focus on how horrible things or people are, or how disgusting your political opponents are, or just how frustrating or aggrieved you should feel for whatever reason. Whatever bleeds, leads. Whoever's aggrieved typically will use their media to get a reprieve. So people everywhere are sort of cashing in by stoking fear in others, or appealing to their basest instincts, if you will, attacking or mocking others, or showing their indignation toward whomever or whatever doesn't align with their perspective. And to be clear, that's just not what we're about here on the Dr. J Vlog series. Sure, we're going to deal with some challenging subjects, and we do from time to time, but and without being, cynical, but without being naive either. So as with my university teaching, I always strive to enhance our understanding of the subject matter. What do we know? What have we learned? What have others taught us about these issues? And I try to tackle the issues then by promoting or using positive energy. We can and must discuss some of the more difficult or possibly even depressing issues on occasion, but that doesn't mean we have to sort of wallow in misery or despair or lash out at others in the world. That's usually just a waste of our precious energy. So instead, as with this week's theme, I'd rather focus on how we can use our knowledge and understanding and at times our specialized forms of expertise to improve the world. And from an individual perspective, I think the best place to start in general involves clarifying our own personal mission statement and then putting that into practice on a daily basis if possible. Now again, your personal mission statement should reflect your core values and tap into your own special gifts and abilities. And that should always be tied to your understanding then of the purpose and meaning of life. So if you're trying to operationalize your mission statement by putting it into practice on a daily basis, I can guarantee you're almost certainly going to be improving the world just through that alone. So each of us individually can actually be improving the world through our daily, efforts. And in the very first place, you're going to be improving yourself by trying to live up to your core mission. That's a great place to start. In fact, why not start each day with a quick reminder of just what, or a recitation, if you will, of your personal mission statement. Make it a habit. And then you can start thinking about that mission as you approach each day. I don't mean doing a deep dive necessarily. I mean, if you like to meditate or spend a few minutes doing it, great, whatever works for you. I'm just talking about even just spending maybe 2 or 3 minutes first thing. But it has to be intentional. Okay? So recite your mission statement and then set your intentions for the day accordingly. I find that really helps me get focused before I start my day. And it's a great motivator at the same time. And then you can always start to imagine and be creative then about the many different ways that you can pursue your life's mission. So regardless, here are some tips and suggestions for things that any of us can do in our everyday lives to sort of help improve the world. Most of these are just simple or small things that you already know, but it all adds up, in my view. And by doing these small things on a regular basis, you'll start to feel much better about yourself. You'll feel the positive energy that's flowing within yourself, and you'll see that you're actually making a difference. Again, it doesn't mean you're saving the whole world, but you'll see that you're having an impact. Okay, so let's make this kind of a top 10 list, if you will, of simple, everyday things that you and I can do to improve the world. All right, so number 10, pick up some garbage or unsightly debris, right, that's around you, around your house, around your workplace, whatever. For example, there's a garbage can just outside the door where I walk into my office in the university. And I'll typically pick up any garbage that's lying around there. And if the garbage can's tipped over, I'll pick it up. It gets tipped over because the squirrels and the raccoons like to dive in from time to time and so on. And I know someone else can do that, right? But so can I. So I try to do that. It takes literally 30 seconds. Number 9, smile and say good morning, not only to your family members or housemates or people you live with perhaps, but extend that courtesy to others that you encounter along the way, including strangers, because you never know what impact that little smile, that little hello might have, especially if somebody's having a rough day or whatever. Again, you're just sending out some positive energy into the world. Number 8, speed up a little when you're crossing the street, even if you're in a crosswalk. If you see that there are other cars that are coming or waiting for you, it's, again, just a little common courtesy. Or for that matter, you can just wait a moment and wave somebody through. It's little tiny courtesies make a big difference. People appreciate these things. Number 7, say please and thank you on a regular basis and with meaning and sincerity. Not just a casual throwaway, but really mean it. And number 6, give someone $1 or a coffee or something at least once a week, if you can, if you have the opportunity. And I'll tell you a quick anecdote, kind of a funny little story about number 7 and 6, how these both combined recently. So my wife and I were having lunch together about 10 days ago. We both, met from work. We got together on a lunch break. And a guy came in and sat in. We were at a little Wendy's, this little restaurant. And a guy came in and sat down, and he was definitely looking like, he was in pretty rough shape. And then it looked like, I'm guessing, an assistant manager came over and asked the guy to leave, very quietly, very discreetly. And then he didn't. And then she came back, and I think she told him he needed to leave. He needed to at least put on his shoes because there was a policy or whatever. So it took him a couple of minutes, but he finally got these really ragged shoes back on his feet, but he hadn't left yet. I don't know what was going to happen ultimately, but my wife asked me if we should buy him a sandwich. So I thought, why not? So I casually, just kind of strolled by him, and I said, hey, how you doing? Would you like a burger? And his response was quite simple. Yes, please. That's all. And so I ordered the burger, and I walked back to the guy with the burger, and I had a cup of water as well. Right? They didn't know. I mean, we'd had our meal, and we were at the end of it. So I just, went back up there, and I came by, and I said, here's your burger and some water. That's all. Didn't make a big deal of it or whatever. And he responded again, very simply, thank you very much. That's it. Very polite. And we left. Mission accomplished. Again, I don't know what the long-term implications are, but there was just a guy who was, I could tell we could tell he was obviously struggling. And who knows, right? But hey, we were in a position where we could do a little small favor. The guy was going to get kicked out, whatever. And we gave him a sandwich and something to drink. Great. Um, number five, do the old trick of pay it forward. You know this one, right? So when you're in line at a drive-through, or if you have an extra, few bucks, uh, pay for the meal. Not pay for not only your own meal, but pay for the person behind you, obviously, without telling them, to surprise them. So you drive off, and they don't know you. They'll never have met you, but I guarantee you'll have absolutely made their day. They'll feel like they've, you know, had a winning ticket or something. Maybe it's only a $5 ticket, but nonetheless, they'll be quite ecstatic. Find out that somebody else, some stranger, was looking after them. Uh, okay, then number four, give people that you meet compliments. Again, when you have the opportunity and when it's appropriate. And that includes family and friends as much as anyone else. Don't force the issue, right? Don't make it some kind of an obligation. You want it to be part of your natural give and take and flow of conversations. And if there's a natural place within a conversation where you can say something positive about someone else, or something that you're impressed with about them, or something that you've noticed, or something that you admire, or even something about their appearance, as shallow as that might be, why not? But again, be sincere. No false flattery allowed. And then number three, give someone a call that you haven't spoken with in a while. Yeah, you can send an email or a text or communicate in some other way. That's fine too. But there's nothing like getting a random or surprise phone call. I don't think I've ever been upset or annoyed when an old friend of mine happens to call, or if one of my sisters calls, and that sort of thing. It's almost like getting an old-fashioned letter in the mail. What a lovely surprise. Why don't you be the person to give someone else a lovely surprise? Give them a call. Number two, in general, attend to some cause or take some initiative in some regard that extends beyond yourself in your daily routines. And do it at least once a month. What do I mean? So in other words, send a payment to a charity online or what have you, or volunteer at a soup kitchen, right? Or a food dispensary or something, or play music for people in an assisted living facility, or donate some old clothes even to a Salvation Army. I mean, there's a million things that you can potentially do. And if you can do more than once a month or do other things, great. But you can at least do something, right? So I've been listening, for example, to my wife donating her time. She has a she's been doing this now for several months, where she teaches people Farsi, and especially how to read and write, who don't know how, typically children. And I listen to her, and I can hear the joy in her voice and how she teaches, and the encouragement that she's giving her students online. Again, this is all volunteer on her part. She doesn't earn anything from it. But all I'm thinking as I'm listening to her is that, and she's doing this teaching via Zoom, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, you're such a great teacher, and you're expending such positive energy. You're so encouraging. So whatever happens, whatever they're learning, I can almost guarantee you, just the fact that they spent time with her for an hour. Well, she has like 3 students, so she does like an hour, 45-minute session with each, typically consecutively. And all I'm thinking to myself is, whatever they're learning, I guarantee they're coming away feeling better about themselves and feeling positive about their days, because she's giving them such positive encouragement and reinforcement and energy. Anyway, so again, you can do that in whatever ways that, align with your talents and abilities and opportunities and so on. Okay, and then finally, number one, and yes, this is coming from an historically a non-hugger. Yeah, hug someone, or make some kind of positive physical contact. You know, a handshake obviously is a simple, straightforward means, typically appropriate in many settings. A supportive slap on the back or a gentle, you know, just a tug on somebody's arm, you know, just an appreciative expression, a physical expression of some kind or another. Again, it depends on what's appropriate. Hugs obviously are not appropriate in every setting, but maybe even just a, you know, great to see you and a light squeeze on the arm as you say goodbye to somebody or whatever. Okay. But there's something about physical contact, again, done in a positive and an appropriate way that is, again, conveying and extending your positive energy, literally, physically, to someone else. And so, again, there are a number of different ways that you can do that. Oh, and okay, bonus tip. I guess I can't leave this one out. It's an obvious one, but yeah, say I love you to, you know, loved ones on a regular basis. Again, you have to mean it. It has to be authentic. It has to be, you know, it's not just something forced or something, you just throw away line. So, you know, you have to mean it or it doesn't count. Okay. Okay. And then if you have any more tips or suggestions, you know, in addition to the brief 10 or 11 here that I provided, everyday things that you can do to improve the world, please just share these in the comments below. And I'll definitely add these suggestions to my own. And in fact, I'll build all of these or put all of this together as a chapter of one of the books that I'm working on. Okay, so our cumulative suggestions in this regard. And that way, even more people can benefit from what we're sharing online. And even if they've never heard of or never see the vlog series. Okay. Oh, and by all means, at the same time, please feel free to share this vlog or other links from the Dr. J vlog series with others in your circle. And heck, why not recruit another subscriber or two? We'll build up this little community. All right, in the meantime, may you and yours continue to create peace in your lives, nurture love in your hearts, and dole out hugs in abundance. And I'll see you hopefully tomorrow.